Good afternoon, folks. I'll call the meeting to order. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and behaved themselves on New Year's. We kind of watched the East Coast ball go down and said, "Good Happy New Year," and went to bed. But not like we used to be for sure. But anyway, thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. We do have a quorum, so all alternates can vote. And so we're good to go. First thing on the agenda is, do I have a motion to approve the agenda that was in your packet? Okay, second. Okay, thanks, Greg. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so item number 3, election of officers.
Larry Tobias, I would like to nominate person right next to me, Jim Godfrey, the chairman of the CAC.
In keeping with past practice, I'm sharing for a minute or two for the election of the chair, and then once you have the chair, then the chair can handle first vice chair and second vice chair. But the floor is now open to nominations for chair.
Larry Tobias, I'd like to nominate Jim Godfrey for chairman of the CAC for 2026.
Is there a second? Dave?
David Zelenak, I would be happy to second that motion with gusto.
Be honored. Thank you very much for the thought.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, and with no other nominations, the one motion is on the floor, so all in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. I enjoy it. And so thank you. So I guess then the next one would be for the first vice chair nomination for first vice chair. Do we hear a motion?
Advising El Paso County, I nominate Larry Tobias for first vice chair.
Thank you, Kathy. Do I have a second? Thank you, Tony, and welcome. You and Cindy both showing up. It's a good year. All those in favor, we have a nomination and a second for first vice chair. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Not seeing anything online. Okay, thank you. All right, so second vice chair, which is Mr. Dills, right? Has been. Has much. So thanks to the good attendance. But do I have a nomination for second vice chair?
Kathy Heisey, El Paso County, I'd like to nominate Ed Dills for second vice chair.
Okay, I have a second. David?
David Zelenak, El Paso County, I would second Ms. Heisey's motion with gusto.
All right, we have a second and a motion and a second for second vice chair for Mr. Dills. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, there we go. Thank you all. Got a good team. All right, do I have a motion? Oh, first of all, any public comment for items not on the agenda? Anyone in the audience or anyone on the CAC? Okay, not seeing anyone online or in the room. All right. Next thing is approval of the minutes for the December 3rd meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes that were in your packet? Somebody? Tony, thank you. All right, thanks, Ed. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, very good.
Mr. Chair, I'll abstain. I was at the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. No, Kathy abstains. So whatever she said, abstain, yes. Number 6, Lisa, financial.
All right, Lisa Corey, Finance Manager for the PPRTA. The sales and use tax and reporting is for the month of October. we received 13,547,846, which came in above the monthly budget by 666,561, or 5.2%. When we look at October of 25 to October of 24, we collected more in 25 by 110,313, or 0.8%. Any questions?
The trend. Stay above the line.
Yeah.
Right. All right, any questions for Lisa on financials? Anybody online? Okay. All right, very good. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Item number 7. 25 capital maintenance public transportation contract, City of Colorado Springs. Ms. Gail.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail Sturdivant, City of Colorado Springs. The city has a total of 9 contracts, 8 contracts which are for the CAT's consideration for approval. And then the 9th one is just for information only. So I'll go through those, and if you have questions as I go through, please let me know. The first contract is for our on-call engineering services. We went through an RFP process in September to solicit and pre-qualify contractors in 16 categories for engineering services, related services that we need periodically. Through this, we would be issuing a 5-year contract to the 84 selected firms in a variety of 16 categories as laid out in the spreadsheet. So with all these firms will be getting master contracts. Their rates are set for the next 5 years. And then if we have work that would necessitate them, then we would have a task order. And based on the task order amount, it would either come back to the CAC or go on the log base in accordance with policy 30. We've done this before. We haven't done this since the end of 20. So here we are at the beginning of 26 to start putting that in place for the next 5 years. The city's second contract is for our project and construction management software. In 2022, the city, or 21 and 22, the city went through an RFP procurement process for the software package. PPRTA approved the purchase of this. We have option years for the maintenance contracts associated with that. This is the 3rd of 5 option years for this project management, construction management software. This is split between PPRTA projects, also with other city engineering or city general fund funded projects or grant funded projects, and then the stormwater enterprise. And it's for a total of $100,000, with PPRTA being responsible for $73,125. The city's third contract is for 2 separate PPRTA 3 A-list projects. There's a map included in your packet, but it's primarily related to the Woodman Road improvements. That goes from Powers Boulevard up to State Highway 24. This is a project that was listed as a regionally significant project in PPRTA 3 list. So that's why we're doing it in conjunction with the county. And we also went and got some federal funding to help start this project as well. What we're bringing forward today is we went through an extensive RFP process to get an engineering team to help us get this project started. Oh, let me mention that, sorry, there isn't, before I get started about what they're going to be doing. The second RTA 3 project is the US 24 rerouting study, which is also listed on the ballot. We are doing that project in conjunction with this Woodman Road project, because Woodman Road is the most likely alternate route for US 24. So we're going to be doing the traffic analysis on that from a regional basis and coordinated with CDOT and see if there's an opportunity to redesignate US 24 going through Colorado Springs. The city's primary concern back 21-22 timeframe when we did our city's transportation master plan. There's a lot of concerns about Fountain Boulevard having a US 24 designation, and if you've driven on that recently, you might have some similar maintenance concerns. It's a very urbanized roadway section that doesn't really meet city standards, doesn't really get the attention from state highway area. So we at least want the opportunity to make a consideration for routing that differently. CDOT may come back and say no, but we need to go through and do that effort. So we're going to do that with the Woodman Road project in this upfront effort to see if that comes to fruition.
Okay. Question. So in, I got two questions, but in that last comment about redesignation of 24, what would be the connecting route between I-25 and 24 on the south end to Woodman Road on the north end?
I-25.
I-20, so
Like
I-25 would be that?
I-25, yeah.
Okay, so,
But all that needs to be looked at in a lot more detail. This is just really high level,
sure.
big idea, picture things that we should be looking at to see if there's a way to solve this problem. And for us in the city, it's mostly Boulevard.
Sure. And a second question, is that study going to take a look at the population growth that's driven out there, Banning Lewis?
Yes.
I was,
So the answer is yes. So we, everything that's happens regionally, we use it's actually PPACG, we use the 2050 transportation model that actually goes and looks at land use. And then with that land use, what the traffic changes would be in addition to a growth factor. So all that gets considered as well when we go and look at it for both Woodman Road, for any of the projects really we do when we do a traffic analysis. So I've got two traffic engineers, please. Is there anything else I need to add to that? Okay, good.
I
They
just,
taught me well enough.
I just didn't I didn't even recognize Mark Shuffle and Woodman in the road. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's, I don't even recognize it when we drove up Mark Shuffle the other day just to see about the improvements and stuff on the road and get to that intersection. They go like, I remember when there used to be a little convenience store or something over on the corner of, but the road over there, but it's like, holy mackerel. Anyway, all right, thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So continuing on with that particular contract number 3 related to this, I'm just going to call it the Woodman Road project. We went through a very extensive RFP process with the city and county be involved in it along with some other stakeholders. Just selected. We had 4 proposals. We selected the Basis Partners team. Because we have some grant money, all the PPRTA portion is really just to cover the local match for the Woodman Road portion. And then we have some money for the US 24 rerouting setting. You can see those listed in your packet. So between the Woodman Road local match and the US 24 United City, that's a total of $367,131.64. And then the grant piece is $1,766,114.36 going to that effort. And this is really going to do this routing study, look at the alternatives analysis. When I say alternatives analysis, don't freak out. We are not changing what Woodman Road is. Really what it's meant to be is right now you have kind of a combination of urban cross-section, rural cross-section as you go through the city and the county, at least in the, I think in the city portion, but in both city and county jurisdiction, there's an opportunity to do a hybrid cross-section where we can gather really some green infrastructure in there as well, but at the same time be able to do the multimodal improvements and safety improvements of those intersections going through there. So that's really what the alternative analysis is going to look like. And really just set this up and doing the identifying what we want to do, put the concept together, sort of advance it into preliminary engineering, and then we will start breaking it up and starting construction in logical packages that make sense. I will tell you the city currently has a grant to go from Powers to just east of Black Forest Road. We originally put it in all the way to Golden Sage, so we'll see how we get additional grant funding on that, and then we would use the PPRTA funds for the local match piece of it. And I know the county is also pursuing funds as well. But the city's intent to start from the west and push east. I think if the county were to come up with additional funds, they would probably go east and push west and hopefully we'd meet in the middle, but to be determined. And Josh, I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add to that. Any questions on that? This is a big monumental effort for us. This is one of the 5 really keystone projects we got going on at PPRTA 3.
Rolling your,
I'm going to move on to contract number 4. This is for the PPRTA 3 A-list program for the sidewalk infill program. The city went through an RFP process to get a construction contractor on board. We had 12 respondents. We selected Even Pricer. This is for the base year contract. We want to award $966,649. This contract does have the ability to have option years for the next 4 years. Work in 26 is going to be focused on the northeast quadrant of the city. The city's fifth contract is for a bridge maintenance activity at Galley Road at Wooten, so Galley and the Wooten intersection. There is a culvert that runs, a box culvert or bridge that runs from the northeast corner to the southwest corner in that area that is in desperate need of maintenance. The city went through an RFP process for construction management services. We had 7 respondents. We selected Roxall in the amount of $348,276.90. And they're going to be representing the city in oversight for the construction works that's going to be done by Westport Construction.
Gail, I got a question on timing. So are we still working in, isn't this just a few blocks from the other Galley Road Bridge project that over the stream that's going on?
Yes, I knew somebody was going to ask this question.
So I'm just thinking
The
about,
answer is yes.
so the answer would just be timing of the
Yeah,
construction.
so the timing may overlap some, but the road closures are not going to overlap. So right now, Woodman or Galley Road is still closed. We're actually trying to get it open so there's a lane open in each direction now, if we can. We've had some good weather, so we're hoping we can be able to do that and come do final paving in the spring. We anticipate this Wooten Bridge replacement starting at some point in time. They'll likely have to close Wooten, but our intent is never to have them close at the same.
Okay, all right, because it's not an easy detour. I mean,
I don't know. I kind of like it. I feel like I've
Yeah.
learned a lot of new routes in that.
yeah.
part of town.
Yeah, I have seen a few nice houses down there too. Yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you.
All right, the city's sixth contract is for crack seal services. The city went through an RFP process last year and selected 2 seal coat contractors that contract had option years. This particular contract is to provide it's really to provide a task order for a not to exceed amount of $1 million to Seal Coat Solutions to be able to provide services as required this coming year for maintenance. Contract 7 is somewhat similar. We went through an RFP process in 22. We selected 2 contractors to do dig out patch activities. This is for a task order and with a not to exceed amount of $750,000 for tracks construction to be able to provide those services as needed. And the city's 8th contract is for pre-overlay and on-call concrete work. The city went through an RFP process in 25. We pre-qualified 13 contractors. What I'm bringing before you today is to award contracts for 6 contractors and the amounts listed on your sheet there to be able to provide services. And that work has specifically been identified for those pricing. It was included attached with your memo. So those are the 8 contracts that I will be asking for your approval. The 9th contract is to add a customer service center for the downtown transit center. This is informational, as I mentioned, but the city did go through an RFP process where we had 2 proposals. We selected IS West and the amount of $122,893. And I'll just give you a brief refresher, and Rick may want to jump in and add some more to this, but with these transit contracts, everything that they do, whether it has FTA federal dollars, and if they're required to have FTA clauses. And in doing so, it had been determined about 20 years ago, I believe, Rick, that the comprehensive IGA and how we collectively as PPRTA member governments administer contracts, that transit contracts that PPRTA would not be party to as they are others. But we still have to go through the same competitive process. Like with the new projects, you have to follow the city's procurement regulations, which they did in this case. But because there's no PPRTA clauses, PPRTA is not a party of it, you don't really see this for approval. But we felt it was important that because we're using a PPRTA 3 A-list program to pay for this work, that in full transparency, we wanted to bring it to your attention and let you know that we were doing that in this would have triggered us to bring this to board in accordance with policy. And I probably made it more confusing telling you why we wanted to let you know what was going on, but we felt like it's important to continue to be transparent about what's going on. But just a refresher, because you haven't seen anything from transit like this for a long time, and why that's the case. So I'm available to answer questions, and I ask for the CAC's recommendation for approval on the first 8 contracts.
Any questions for Gail?
Gail, what is the status of new location for the, I know you were waiting for somebody to ask.
No, I
so
wasn't. I thought you already knew the answer. No, we are actively working at 2 different sites on an acquisition. And
Okay.
going through the federal process to do this. Anyway,
Do they look positive as far as
they
going?
both do, but it depends on which one we can make move first. And I've got some competing interests from FTA and CDOT who also have an interest in us moving forward.
Thank you.
Good non-committal answer.
Yeah.
David?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail, great presentation as always. 2 things. I need to abstain from the first item, but regarding the third item, I had a question for you on the redesignation of US 24. So if that goes through, then would that potentially mean that CDOT would be responsible for building, constructing, maintaining, let's say it's successful, Woodman Road between roughly Falcon and I-25 then?
I don't think they would be maintaining that. My guess is if we were to be successful, we would have some kind of swap agreement similar to what happened with Powers and Academy Boulevard. And as you recall, Dave, I think you probably maybe were involved in some of that. We would have to determine who's going to be responsible for any outstanding maintenance or capacity type projects and issues. They've been very supportive thus far of giving us grant money on Woodman Road. So we have it as an RTA 3A list project. So my guess is we would still be doing something with Woodman Road, but it will at least give us the ability to have control over Fountain. So in the future, if they were to do the swap, then they would be responsible for the longer term operation and maintenance. But Woodman Road or whatever else was designated as 24.
Yeah, that's helpful. So do I understand correctly then that you may simply change the road signs for Highway 24, but potentially keep ownership and maintenance responsibility of Woodman, or?
No, we would,
It'd be
long
nothing,
term,
right?
if this were to happen.
If it were to
just
happen.
say this, Roddy said he says it's Woodman Road.
Right.
It may or may not happen, but if it did, that at some point in time, there would be a transfer for
Okay.
Woodman Road and Fountain. And so who's responsible for the capital stuff up front would be determined during a swap agreement if it was there. But the ownership and maintenance long term responsibility would switch.
Okay. Yeah, thank
We'll
you. That's
see.
the answer I was hoping for. Just a little unclear the way it was written
Yeah.
because it looked like you're redesignating the road signs only, but it was a little silent as to what's the end goal. The end goal
We'll
was just.
see. I will tell you, I don't know that CDOT's actually, they seem very lukewarm even to the discussion.
Really?
So
Okay.
Cindy had a question.
I'm
Thank you.
just confused. The transit question, I understand PPRTA is not a party, but if we're spending PPRTA funds, why wouldn't it need approval? I'm confused.
Rick, do you want to?
Excuse me a second. Sorry, my voice still isn't working. If we're not a party to the contract, then the board attorney has said that we don't need to approve. It can be informational.
And go ahead, Carl, and then Craig.
Thank you. So I had a question about the Woodman Road improvements as well. Can you expand briefly on the multimodal portion of that? Is there like any plans to have dedicated bus lanes or?
So right now, in general, as far as dedicated transit, the answer is right now that is not designated for that. In fact, there's no transit route to really go east of Black Forest Road, if I recall correctly. But really what we're focused on, so if you know, it's 3 lanes in each direction out there today. There's very spotty sidewalks. There's no shared use path. The crossings at those intersections are precarious. So really the focus would be on making it very consistent with the shared use path, sidewalks, improved crossing, proper intersections. So it's a lot of safety improvements that would be going, at least in the city section. I believe the county would still like to do some widening once they get into the county's jurisdiction, but those would all be looked at. But we're trying to open it up as much as possible for as many travelers.
Craig and then Brandy.
Yeah, I just needed to say that, like Dave, on account of item 1, I need to recuse myself.
Okay. Brandy, you have a question?
Yes, much like everybody else, I just want to bifurcate item 1 so we can vote on 2 through 8 and then everyone else can vote on item 1.
Okay, so you're making a motion?
Yes, I would love to make a motion. I can
Okay,
make the
so-
motion that I can make to approve the recommendation of items 2 through 8.
Hey, well, let's do the bifurcate thing first, please. Everybody okay with bifurcating item 1, because we have several people already? Okay. So we'll bifurcate item 1 and we'll vote on it separately. And like I had another question. Oh, another question before we go to item 2 through 8. Gail, on 24 thing, another came up during Dave's comment. So the portion of that is on Powers from Fountain up to 24 right now. So that would be part of that whole thing. Everything's
Everything would have to be considered.
okay.
I will tell you the city's interest is on as I-25 to the east, nothing to the west.
All right. All right, thank you. Okay. Steve, you have your hand up?
I do not have my hand up, but I did want to recuse myself on the Woodman project. I'm a part of that team.
Okay, all right. So we'll note that when we get to that. So let's vote on number 1 first. So how many people are recusing themselves? We got Craig, Karen, Dave, and Brandy. Okay. Oh, Steve. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay. So all those in favor of making a recommendation to the board on the on-call A&E services, accounting for those that recuse himself. All those in favor of making a recommendation, say aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay, hold on. I got ahead of myself. Carl,
I move that we approve item 1, city's contracts.
second. My second. Okay, all right. All right, now, all those in favor, including those that recuse themselves for making a recommendation to the board on-call A&E services, say aye.
Aye.
I
And all opposed? Okay. Now, on items 2 through 8, any further questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve 2 through? Again? All those, do I have a motion to approve items 2 through 8? Carl?
Yes,
Mr.
we have a
Chair.
motion to approve items 2 through 8. I made the motion, I just needed a second.
There you go. Carl will second it.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. All right. Thank you, Brandy. All those in favor of items 2 through 8, say aye. Any opposed? Not seeing any. Okay, motion carries. Okey doke.
Mr. Chair,
Item-
question.
I'm sorry.
Did Steve recuse himself on the second vote of the 2 through 8?
Oh, Steve, you recused yourself on the second vote, 2 through 8. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 7B, City Manitou Capital Projects Line Item Transfer. Karen, you gonna do this one?
Karen Rowe, City Manitou Springs representative for PPRTA. The city is requesting that there are funds left in PPRTA 2, and they would like to distribute them from the West Manitou Avenue project. They don't have any more projects to do there. To first, they want to just transfer $3,000 to the Manitou downtown sidewalk drainage and utilities to use for minor expenses on Creek Walk Trail 4. And then the remaining funds that are available, 49,927, they'll transfer over to the Manitou Springs Transit shuttle and surface structure parking. That was the formal name on PPRTA 2. And you'll see later where they're requesting funds to go to construction for that project.
Wow, you don't get started on that. On Hiawatha Gardens, that's cool.
Yeah.
Many years, 2015. All right. Do I have a motion to approve, David?
I would so move to we approve this and move it forward.
Second.
Second.
All right, Carl. So we have a motion and approve for the line item transfers as requested by Manitou. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Okay, great. All right, thank you very much. Item 7C, Manitou Springs.
Okay, and so this is a request to approve PPRTA funding into the contract to go to construction for Hiawatha Mobility Hub with Branson Pittman. Previously, this board has approved the CMGC contract between Francis Pittman and Davis Partnership. Davis Partnership is doing the design. This would be the construction contract for Francis Pittman. And so the total contract amount is $3,159,725. And the PPRTA portion would be about $1.719 million. $71. So I do have the location on there. They were selected and negotiated for the contract services through the CMGC process. So we're just looking for this portion of PPRTA funds to be approved for the three-party contract. And so, yeah, the visuals are up there. It's just the parking lot. So there is no pavilion elements in it. So it's 100% eligible for the PPRTA 2 funds. And you can see a little bit of the schematics of what it'll include. It includes the bathrooms too.
Okay. But it does not include anything to do with the old Chase Bank building at this point.
Right. It
Okay.
does not.
All right, thank you.
There's a phase 1. This is just phase 1.
Okay,
The phase 3 is Old Man's Trail, and phase 4 is the old Chase Bank. And right now they just have schematics for that.
okay, thank you. Any other questions for Manitou or Karen on their request? Do I have a motion to approve their request? Thank you, Tony. Second. Thanks, Craig. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
yeah, I had my hand up. Being one of the ones that are more vocal about the way Manitou prepared for our meetings, I'd like to compliment them on the detail that they furnished this month. It was well done. Thank you much.
great. Thank you, Rick.
Echoing that also,
Yeah,
it's
I appreciate
timely
it.
submitted, great detail, it's good format, nice work for Karen and everybody from Manitou. Thank you.
I appreciate that as well. I noticed that. Good job, Rick. Thank you. All right, transit. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, El Paso County. You got anything? You don't? Okay. And you don't have anything, Karen? I mean, Callahan or Raymer, anybody? Green Mountain Falls, not Jersey. Okay. All right. Transit. Come on up, Lan. Happy
Thank
New Year.
you. Good afternoon and Happy New Year. Land Rail Transit Division Manager. In your packet today is our regular monthly updates. The first section includes information on ridership in November, as well as year-to-date information on third page. What I would like to highlight is, of course, under the transit highlights section. On January 2nd this year, actually, just last week, we entered into a new agreement with the city's housing department, in collaboration, really working with housing different departments and as well as the Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management. The challenge during cold weather transportation for people experiencing homeless is the logistic part of distributing a physical paper bus pass. That is something that we had done in past years, but it is very difficult for either the housing department or OEM to reach out to individuals throughout the city. So this year, working collaboratively with all the partners for a few months, we are starting this pilot program. Let's see how things go. What we do is, as you know, we collect fare revenue, and which is a very important part of transit operating budget. So we are not in the position to decide which group gets free ride or discount fares. And with this agreement, the housing departments have their budget to reimburse transit for the rights that qualify people experiencing this during cold weather, extreme cold weather, extreme and severe cold weather, going to shelters. So it provides a way for people to get there during transit operating hours. So it's a win-win situation. We'll keep a close eye on this pilot because there is a limit on the budget. We want to see the operational impact, and we are closely monitoring the weather situation tomorrow night. We'll see how things go. But we're happy to.
Yeah, so far they might have to put on long pants.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for Pam. So does the driver have to distinguish regular fare
It's
versus
self-reported. I'm going to shift. So we'll, as long as you claim you are going to a home shelter, and also the activation part is controlled by the housing department. They will look at the weather, they work with the OEM department, look at the weather situation before they activate. Then we get the request from housing, distribute and communicate that information with the drivers.
Are there certain routes that
It's
the
gonna be,
logical routes that
that actually was
gathering
souls a conversation we had. What are the shelter locations? Currently there are a few main transit routes, so we had quite a few discussions, but in the end we decided to provide a system-wide transportation because there could be transfers that people might need in order to get to the shelter.
And the getting the word out on this program, housing's handling all that. You guys are you
Housing.
working together on this or?
And the mayor had also included this information in his press release last year, and we have this information is on the drivers. The second item we included in the report is our drivers of the year. 2 drivers from MMT were recognized at the PPACG Mobility Coordinating Committee, and we're very happy to share this great news. Joshua Demenko and Padina Tamali were the drivers that were selected this year. And actually, Padina is also serving the safety committee at the front line. Transit drivers need regularly use transit management. So it's great to share this great information. Also during the holidays, we participated in the Festival Lights parade, and we saw that beautiful purple bus that we had over 10,000 lights on. And also we did some decoration, handed out hot chocolates and small treats at downtown terminal, and council member Gold were able to join us and transcribers. So it's great to share those all the day cheers with our members. That's my report for today. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Go ahead, Craig.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for, and everyone on your staff for the homeless support. Autobiographical, I've been involved in the food pantry for 15 years, up in Falls, even in our little town. We have homeless people coming to us. So this is huge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Definitely a team effort.
Any other questions for Lan? Great report as always, Lan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 8B, Colorado Springs change order property acquisition. It's information only. Anybody got any questions for the city? Gail or anybody? All right, not seeing any or seeing any hands. 8C, Colorado Springs Powers North reimbursement, Powers North reimbursement update.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Gail Sturdivant, the city. This is an informational item, as we do frequently, probably about 10 of the last 12 months, giving you an update on where we are and total costs incurred. On this last statement, it's an additional $220,049.23. Right now, all of it is being attributed towards PPRTA. I did just want to give you an update and reminder underneath the reimbursement agreement. As of right now, the reimbursements happen on a monthly basis. Between what the city and the county budgeted in 26, we anticipate having $12.15 million available towards reimbursement. It was the same amount that was available in 25. Because the way tax revenues are collected, they've received about 9.7 million so far. It's anticipated that we receive all 12.15 from 25 revenues, based on where we are with that, with what's been eligible for reimbursement, and money's budgeted in 26, and we're continuing to move on with that project. Just as kind of a side note, I could save it for later, but I think I'll mention it now. There is going to be a Powers pre-construction meeting on January 28th. It's going to be held at Discovery Canyon School, the campus. And this pre-construction meeting is going to focus on the initial bridge work that's going to be going in place. Those are the local bridges at Flying Horse Club Drive, Ridgeline Drive, and there's a pedestrian bridge that's just north of Flying Horse Club Drive. I will also provide our residents with an update on where we are in the environmental review process, the design process, and the noise analysis that's going on. So if you're available, you're welcome to attend. They are just finalizing the invitation. So once I get that, I'll make sure that Rick has that to distribute to you all.
Yeah, please. Is there any physical work going on right now? I haven't been.
Well, it like eminently, like it could have happened today, but eminently I'm going to have water line relocation work starting.
Okay, thank you. I hadn't ridden through Flying Horse, but I haven't seen anything, so I knew.
Yeah, you would just see staking really for the most part, and even with the water line relocation, they're boring that, so you're really just going to see bore and receiving pits at Flying Horse Club Drive to the south, and then on the south side of Ridgeline.
Okay.
You won't, otherwise you won't even see really any disturbance or things going on there.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Gail? Okay, thank you. 8D, South Academy Boulevard update.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail Sturdivant once again. We made commitments to periodically give you an update on South Academy Boulevard. We did go through, and I'm really skipping to stuff more that's towards the end, but there is a lot of history on the project in this memo. But we went through and recompleted that project this past fall. In November, the PPRTA approved a contract with SEMA Construction to be able to complete this construction work. We did have a pre-construction open house in October. And if you're out there, you can see construction materials out there. They're really getting started now. The first thing they're also going to be working on is water line work. And with construction starting now, they've got 30 months to be able to complete that work. So that puts you into July of 2028. If you ask me why it's so long, I will tell you, we worked really hard with the construction contractor. The team has to make sure that it's very clear that those businesses are open, that the access is more apparent. So that gives more constraint area for the contractor to be able to do the work, but there's going to be hopefully better traffic flow and access to businesses in that corridor. I will mention, and this is in the memo, sorry, I wrote myself a note, but it's on the backside of the page. We are planning on doing it really the 4 phases that are laid out there. There's going to be some overlap with some of those phases, just the way some things have to tie in. But they're also going to be working from the outside in as well as we go through switch. So you can get 2 lanes of traffic open and have access to those businesses in that area.
Tony?
So I see that you say, with the overlap of the work, that the team is committed to minimizing the duration and amount of the overlap. What does that mean? Because it seems like sometimes it just lasts forever with some of the projects that end up doing.
Well, in this case, really what it means is that they're really going to try to do in those 4 segments. What happens though, sometimes if you have to tie into an existing storm sewer system or existing water line area, they're going to have to go into that other area. So you'll see traffic control on some of those that overlapping, but it's really meant to minimize the disruption into a shorter set of pockets that they may take as they're doing these tie-ins.
Be nice when it's done.
Yes, yes, it will.
Any other questions for Gail on the South Academy update? All right, very good. Thank you. Pass County change order and monthly acquisition report. Any questions for Josh on that? Josh, I appreciate the update on the status of the projects in terms of complete and progress, and that I appreciate that. Was a question that I was going to ask, and you provided it in your thing, so that's great. I appreciate it. Any questions, other questions for Josh? Very good. Moving right along, item 9, administrative actions and reports, recent board actions. Rick?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, if
Oh.
we could go back to
Maintenance of,
8F.
yeah, I'm sorry. Maintenance of effort reports.
This is just a high profile reminder to the CAC and the board and staffs that the maintenance of effort reports are required and will be required in the February cycle of meetings.
Right. Item 9A.
Report of the recent board actions. My summary is in your packet. Be glad to take any questions.
All right. Any questions for Rick? Don't see any online. 9B, annual report, annual CAC report to the board. I worked with Rick to put this together, so I submit it to you as a summary of our activities this year. Open to any comments or questions anyone might have.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Rick. I just had one small suggestion. It's not that important, but in the first paragraph there, we mentioned the fact that that's a shining example across the state of Colorado. But then down below, we also included the state and the country. I was wondering if maybe we could add across the state of Colorado and the nation or something to that effect. That's the only thing I suggestion. The rest of it looked quite good. Thank you. I yield.
Good question. Good comment. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I think across the state of Colorado and the nation of how a community comes together is probably pretty good and a very accurate statement from what I've heard. We've got members of the board that have served in other communities in other states, and I would invite them to speak up if they know of any different, but I think we've got a good thing going here. And I talk to people that I travel and people from other states, they were wishing they had something like this. When you think about the money between this program and 2C, you know, we're putting $200 million a year into this region in transportation improvements and transportation infrastructure. And there aren't many places that do that. So, yeah, I like that suggestion, Rick. Is everybody okay with adding that and the nation after that? Any objections? Okay, we'll do that. Thank you, Rick. We need to vote on that. Yeah. So recommendation to approve the report to the board as amended. Thanks, Barb. Any other second? All right. Thank you, Kathy. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you all very much. Rick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the results of my windshield drive around quarterly that I do, double checking on what each member governments have reported for the quarter. Everything looked good. Be glad to take any questions.
Rick, are you still open to members riding with you when you go to do this?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I would encourage, if you haven't, some of the newer members particularly, this goes back to accountability to the citizens. If you haven't had an opportunity to spend a couple hours with Rick, I know that's a challenge, but spend a couple hours with Rick and look at how he takes the invoices that come in and goes and verifies that they did put 10 linear feet of concrete down. It's just, it goes back to the accountability to the citizens in terms of how we're managing this program or how Rick's managing this program. So if you want to go along, give Rick a call. All right. Agenda items next meeting. Anybody got any comments or issues that are hot and bother? Okay, not seeing any online. Any communications? Anybody on the members would like to share with other CAC members? What you got easy today? All right. Well, I have a motion. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Boy, don't everybody jump at once. Yeah, everybody, whoa, I got it. All right, we're out of here. All right, let's go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a great year, everyone.